Hey everybody, welcome, and thank you for listening to this episode of Marriage Therapy Radio. My name is Zach Brittle. I'm here with Laura Heck. We were on a roll this week. We recorded 3 episodes. We talked to Terry Reel and his wife, Belinda Berman Reel. They were amazing. It's maybe one of my favorite interviews that we've done as part of our series called So I Married a Relationship Expert. We are putting that on our Patreon page for those of you who are interested in supporting Marriage Therapy Radio and getting exclusive early access to those interviews. We talked to a bunch of relationship experts and their partners, including another recording we did this week. Laura interviewed Rebecca and I. It was actually really fun. We learned a lot about each other. Laura asked some really good questions, and I think it's going to be a really cool interview if you're interested in hearing that. Please consider becoming a patron. You can go to Marriage Therapy Radio and click on the Patreon button, and I think it's the middle tier. The upper tier has a book club that I'm going to be starting as soon as school starts based on my book called The Marriage Therapy Journal. I'm looking forward to leading some of you through that process. All you have to do is, again, go over to marriagetherapyradio.com, click on the Patreon button, and become a member by supporting the podcast financially. That is the best way to support the podcast. It would also help if you tell your friends, leave reviews on Apple iTunes. We really do want to keep bringing you quality content, and we are hoping that we can do that, again, with your support. In this episode this week, we talk about something that Terry said in the interview. He said, an angry woman is usually a woman who doesn't feel heard. Laura and I bat that around, along with some other ideas that came up in both interviews. And we're looking forward to sharing those thoughts with you. This is a very cool conversation. Stick around. Want to know what song I have in my head?
Maneater.
How did you know?
Because I was listening to when I went to the bathroom, I still had my headphones in. Oh. And so I was listening to you sing, "She's a man-eater.
Oh, here she comes.
Oh, here she comes.
Watch out, girl. She'll chew you up." Yeah.
Yeah. Great. That was a good song. I haven't sang in a while. That's how I know I'm truly happy. And Holden is very similar. Yesterday, I think it was a Tuesday. He was singing. I was like, man, he's just like me. That when I make up songs, I know that I have joy in my heart.
Yeah.
And he does the same thing.
Yeah.
Woo. I have so many. Can we just chat and catch up for a second? Because we just got done with an awesome interview, but we haven't had any hey, how are you? What's going on in life?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on?
You're asking me how I am, what's going on in my life?
Yeah. By the way, Jason is our producer, and Jason sent an email to us with clarifying information from his research on the internet about meters versus yards.
Okay.
And I emailed him back and I said, so what you're saying is that I'm wrong. And he said, I'm saying you're both right. And both with an L. That's both.
Sweet. Yeah.
Both, right? Yeah.
I realized that my pool is in fact 25 yards, but it is also a certain number of meters. Like how many yards are meters?
Yeah. I think it's because the pool that we have here is more for competition, like international competition. Yeah. Anywho, that I've discovered that. Hey, news from my bowels, because this has been a topic over the last 7 years. So if you've been with us for that long, you know that I've tried to figure out why do I have trouble pooping and whatever. I'm experimenting.
I think I can say, Laura, that I don't think we've ever had that conversation on this podcast.
You don't think we've ever talked about poop on the podcast?
Not why you have trouble pooping. This is the first time I've actually ever heard of it. By the way, 25 yards is 22.86 meters. So my 25-yard pool is 22.86 meters.
Thank you. That's good information.
But sure, let's talk about your poop.
Yeah. I'm always down to talk about things that people normally don't talk about because I just want to normalize it. And yeah. But I'm really pumped because I have had a lifelong issue with having regular poop. And so I've had to figure out use supplements or whatever. And I ran out of supplements. I went to order them. They no longer are sold. So they've been discontinued. And I'm not ready to go down and start experimenting with new supplements because that can really screw up your day pretty fast, if you know what I mean. So magnesium. Did you know that magnesium can really help move things along? It's meant.
Did not know this.
As an athlete, I take magnesium. I don't know if you knew this, but I'm an athlete. It's a name, a title, something that I have owned. I feel like you could say as a writer, Like that's a title that you would throw around and I might giggle or, a little bit at it, but you are a writer.
No, what I actually feel about that the most, is when I talk about being an alcoholic in recovery. And they're like, oh, yeah, we get it,
sure.
Zach. Yeah, you've told us every single time we've ever talked to you. Duh.
Just throwing these titles around.
I hate that so much. I hate it so much. But it's like, in my life right now, it happens to just be coming up a little bit more often.
Yeah, I've heard you
good
use
and
that
bad
title
reasons, but
twice now.
Yeah. But anyway, so you were telling us the story about you being an athlete and you taking magnesium.
I'm an athlete and you take magnesium. It helps your body to relax, your muscles to relax, recovery, all of that. And now that I've taken the supplement out, magnesium just helps like everything kind of move through you and relax. And it has kind of a little bit of a natural diuretic impact on you. Anyway, I just wanted everyone to know that things are moving along without any sort of additional stimulants and magnesium. Thank you.
Maybe that was the secret all along.
I do the powder and I have a vitamin that I take at night. And like by the morning, ta-da!
My favorite was this advertisement. I was in high school. I thought it was the funniest thing, probably because I was in high school, but it was a Doxadan. Do you remember Doxadan?
Nope.
Doxadan's slogan was, what was it? It was Doxadan. Doxadan in the PM for a BM in the AM. Doxadan in the PM for a BM in the AM.
I love that.
Yeah.
So
you can take magnesium in the PM for a BM in the AM.
That's right. That's what I'm working on. So those are my updates. We did just have, I was just telling you actually, and I'll kind of repeat it a little bit we just got back from Portland. Portland is a 3-hour drive from Central Oregon, 3.5, 4 hours. And we spent 2 days there because every 3 months Holden goes in, he gets an MRI on his brain and his spine. And then I think like there's another one that they take, but it takes 3 hours. So they have to sedate him every 3 months. And anyway, that's what we were doing. And I feel like pretty good. Like my girlfriend was like, do you have any anxiety before you go on these? And I said, no, because we're really like not anticipating to see his tumors growing. We're just not there. And in fact, they're not, which is really great. The immunotherapy treatment seems to be just holding everything steady. Cool. So no further hearing loss, no further tumor growth. But I was just on Instagram and I saw this video of this gal and she's explaining NF2 and she said, I'm fully deaf. And she's this beautiful, like 32-year-old woman. She said, I'm fully deaf. She has paralysis on one side of her face. She has paralysis in her hand. She's talking about all the trauma. And literally, like I went from Zach and I having a great morning. We're chatting. We're interviewing Terry and Belinda Reel. We get off and then like 30 seconds of a video, I have this trauma response. And I'm like, couldn't breathe, just lost all of my oxygen. And you're like, hey, how you doing? We had like a 5-minute potty break and I was like,
yeah,
can't talk.
Yeah.
But I'm better now. I had my little break, but it's just a weird thing.
It's an interesting one. Like kind of my question for you is like, do you need to look at that stuff? Like, does it add value to your life in any way? Yeah.
I would say no, but I also am really curious. Like I have learned in life to be a very good like avoider. And I think this is from like childhood. Yeah. I would have like an anxious thought and I would immediately identify it as an anxious thought. And I would say, nope, you don't have to think about that right now. And I would sort of like swipe left or right. I don't know what way you're supposed to swipe, but I would immediately move on and change my thought process. And right now I'm kind of asking myself, am I avoiding? Is this something that I should be exposing myself to? Why am I having this response? I mean, I know why I'm having this response, but I have to dig a little bit deeper into it. My initial thought is, no, it's causing you pain. It's not your story. It's not Holden's story. It's somebody else's. So don't. But I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm having kind of the same issue right now with the news. Like the news is driving me bonkers, making me depressed and anxious. And I'm like, do I need to read the news? I'm like, I guess I don't need to. I mean, I kind of do want to know what's going on, but I don't want to be traumatized every day by, this doom scrolling. So I've had to kind of just back off some of that stuff just to make myself feel sane.
Yeah, I had a little bit of that with my mom where like she came over, I could tell that she was distressed, anxious. And I invited her to do something that evening. I was like, do you want to stay and play cards? Which normally she would be like, yes, 100%. I'm just a lonely old woman that lives by myself with my 3 cats. Not really, but she said, no, I really need to get home. I'm right in the middle of watching something. And my eyes rolled so far back into my head because she was watching trials and the news and all of this. So she's in like this doom scrolly place. And I was like, I can tell, Mom, that you are a little unnerved and that you're anxious. And she said, I am. I'm really scared for the future. But she's glued to the television and it's not making her happier. But it also, I don't know. I think she feels like watching gives her some sense of control.
Let me say 2 things about that without getting too politically. I'll say number one is most people I know have already decided what they're doing with their vote in November, one way or the other. Like they're either one side of the fence or the other side of the fence. I'm not talking to you right now. I'm talking to the rest of you who have not made up your mind. Like, pay attention, read, do the work of understanding what your choices are, and be deliberate. I will always choose dignity and integrity over malignant narcissism, just in case my point of view is not clear. But that doesn't have to be your choice. But do your research. The second thing I would say is if you are traumatized by doom scrolling, do something. Like, actually do something. You don't have to read news or consume news. This is the thing I was wondering about for you. Like, when you look at this NFT stuff, like, you could kind of go into your dark places and spaces about the future, or about the outlook, or about the da-da-da-da. Or you could just like squeeze your kid a little tighter, or play a fun game, or love them, or, trust your doctors, or bring your doctors flowers. And Rebecca and I are sending postcards to swing states because we're like, we can do that. We can do something just to, I don't live in a swing state. So I'm kind of like, well, I guess I'll just wait and see.
Who are you sending postcards to?
Undecided voters.
And you know who undecided voters
are?
Yeah,
you get a list. The list. They give you a list. Like, here's a bunch of people who are like sort of independents or undecideds. And marketing is scary and weird, but that's what we're doing. So yeah, that's what I hold that's on. My little public service announcement for the moment.
I have to show you, because remember when I said I was going to send 250 or something? I think I sent 30. Yeah. But I should probably get back on that. But I have a bunch of postcards. Maybe that's what I need to do.
Maybe.
You didn't? No. I didn't send you one? You seemed like you would have been like top of list, like a pretty easy check
Seems like I would have been top of the list, but I wasn't.
Let me go ahead and do that today. I don't have anything else going on for the rest of the day. Do you remember the phrase parallel play? It's a developmental stage where small preschool-age children play next to each other, but they don't actually integrate their play with each other. My couples are stuck in parallel play. That is until I discovered Paired. Paired is an app for couples who want to strengthen their relationship. It's developed by leading experts and relationship therapists whose guiding principle is to make lasting love a daily practice. Listen, you're on your phone anyway, so you might as well build your relationship up by playing a game or initiating a meaningful conversation with your partner through Paired. So here's how Paired works. You and your partner both download the app on your phone. You allow it to guide you through daily exercises, conversations, even the hard ones, games, and quizzes to make connection with your partner more fun, meaningful, but most important, a daily priority. Whether you're just a few dates in or you've been together a long time, find the time to connect with your partner and nourish your relationship. With the Paired app, it's easy and fun, and it only takes 5 minutes a day. Head to paired.com/MTR to get a 7-day free trial and 25% off if you sign up for a subscription. Just head to paired, PAIRED.com/MTR to sign up today.
Let's go ahead and get into it, because while this will come out later, we just interviewed Terry Real,
and Belinda,
which is part of our kind of side hustle project that we're working on called So I Married an Axe Murderer, except instead of an axe murderer, it's a relationship expert. We've done about 4 of these interviews. This was the second coolest interview we did this week. What was the coolest interview we did this week?
Oh, I was like, no, it was 100% the first coolest. I guess I interviewed you and your wife, Rebecca.
Yeah.
That was interesting because you guys, I got to observe in like real time, Zach getting spicy with his wife and how I was going to say handles him, but I'm going to just say manages the dynamic. And that was really interesting for me because I was like, oh man, I just thought you were a dick to me. It turns out you're a dick to your wife too.
Well, I got a lot of practice.
It was good not getting defensive.
So
yeah.
That was fun. We had a lot of fun with that interview and are grateful for it. We are going to put those behind sort of our Patreon window for now. That is still an important thing for us to be doing. If you're interested in hearing the interview with Rebecca and I, head on over to marriagetherapyradio.com, click on the Patreon button. I think it's the buy us lunch level. Maybe it's buy us a cocktail. I'm not sure. But then today we talked to Terry and Belinda. And Belinda, she's the coolest. She's so she exudes calmness, which is the weirdest thing because she's a therapist. Terry's a therapist, two therapists in a relationship together, and they're famous. They are like on par with John and Julie Gottman, who we've talked a lot about. But her work is with sex addiction. Mm-hmm. But it's not just sex addiction, but it's with folks who have gotten in trouble with the law. Is that right? Well, certainly that's among her population, but she is in high demand. I actually think she's working a lot less now because they're in their 70s, but she was one of the leading experts in working with, in particular, men who were in trouble because of their sex addiction. Yeah. And, she's got a lot, obviously, to say about that, which was just fun to grapple with. But mind-boggling because what we asked is it's really interesting to know of these people who Zach and I really idolize. I mean, they are our Michael Jacksons. I'm going to say Michael Jordan instead. Michael Jackson? Yeah, they're our Michael Jordan. Yeah. 100%. I swear off Michael Jackson. And if you like him, that's great, but he's not in my realm anymore. But he's my Oprah. How about that? And Okay. Is that a caffeine-free one, by the way? Yeah. Nice. Well done. You switched over. Zach had a caffeine addiction for a long time, and now he's not drinking. Are you not drinking any caffeine? No. I mean, I will drink Diet Coke every now and again, especially when I kind of feel like I want to pep me up. The reality is I'm out of my little water thing. Mm-hmm. It's not Zip Fizz anymore, but I'm out of it. So I have to figure out how to tickle my throat in the morning. Because I don't want to drink just plain old water. So I'm waiting for the shipment to come in. So that's why I've had Diet Coke this week. Okay, got it. But this morning, it's caffeine-free Diet Coke. Okay. Thanks for noticing. I completely you're welcome. I just want to give you props. Thanks. Here's the thing. Okay, there about Terry and Michael Belinda. Jordan. Gotcha. Yes. They have a long history of being together, but also they shared that their relationship, he's like, we are a hot, fiery couple. We both are fighters, and we would yell and scream. They took time apart where they separated for a while. And as she's telling this story, she has the most calming presence. And this happens to me in my practice where couples are telling me, oh no, we get into it. I become a version of me that I don't even recognize. I am so mean, so harsh. And they're saying it through the sweetest, calmest voice. I was like, there's no way that this woman, Belinda, sitting in front of me, who is bringing me all the warm, fuzzy feelings, could be a fighter. But I believe it. I believe it. The first thing she said, and I don't remember if we were recording at this point or not, but she was talking, you were like, hey, you look like you have a really lovely home. And she was like, yes, I designed it with the architect to create a spiritual place that the two of us could come and be and kind of center and calm. And I was like, that's pretty cool. That sounds nice. Yeah. Yeah. Having a sanctuary. Yeah. That's what your wife did, by the way. This was part of the interview as well between you and Rebecca, is that she created a sanctuary in your bedroom. And she said, and Zach was grateful, and he also was upset that I moved his shit from the side of the bed, and I kicked it out and said, you can bring it in, but it needs to be put away. Yeah. That was interesting. You said you wrote some stuff down. Did you want to talk about the stuff you wrote down, or do you want to just tease it up and let people deal with it when it comes out in the fall?
Okay, here's one. There was a few quotes, and I could have just kept writing because they had so many little nuggets where I was like, ooh, this is so good. The last thing that I wrote down is an angry woman is a woman who doesn't feel heard. And I was like, yup, 100%. That is a big deal. And it's always interesting to me when people know that they're not just coming to me and saying, Laura, here's the problem. I'm really pissed at my partner all of the time. I find that many of the women that come into me have awareness that they don't feel heard, that they understand where their anger is coming from. Very rarely do I have a female who comes in who's angry but doesn't know where it stems from. Just kind of, I don't know if you experience that, but
yeah,
that was
totally.
one
It
quote.
begs a question for me though. Like, I want to know at that point. I had a conversation with yesterday with a client who kind of was in this exact same spot, and she was talking about, I don't feel heard. I want to feel heard. I don't feel heard. And I was like, okay, we have enough trust in the relationship that I could kind of do this. But I was like, okay, fine. You don't feel heard. Well, let's talk about what that is, because we know that, we'll call him Steve, whatever. We know that Steve's eardrums work.
Yeah.
We know that he hears you. He actually can respond to the thing that you're saying, because he's like, you're full of crap, or I don't believe you, or what about this? So it's not the hearing, right? And I'm not trying to be,
it's not a mechanical problem,
snotty or like pandering or condescending. I'm just saying, so what, we know what it's not. What is it? What is feeling, like what counts as feeling heard for you? Like what is the evidence or the data that would let you replace this experience of not feeling heard with feeling heard?
Sure.
What do you think?
Yeah.
She didn't know. She had to think, like, that was her homework.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody comes to me, what I want to know is like, okay, so then let's go back to a time when you actually did feel heard, like to help him ground into like, when was a time when you were sharing something that was important and he responded in a way. Yeah. That's not anything new. I'm like, that's not life-changing.
Well, it was new for me this morning, not like globally, but I'm like, exactly right. Like, of course.
Yeah.
When did you feel hurt? And there's two versions of that, right? In your life.
Yes.
And then also in your relationship with, say, Steve, right? Like
I start within the relationship. And if they can't come up with it, which often they can't, and it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It just means that she's not at the capacity right now to recall, with like the whole revisionist history, where looking in the past, she has created this story. I know I said it funny, didn't I? His story.
I thought you were doing some kind of like feminist thing. Like there's his story and there's her story. And
no,
like
I just had, my syllable was incorrect. Yeah. There was the wrong emphasis on the syllable. So, I start with, when was the last time you really truly felt heard, and ground both of them in that and help them understand, like, what is it that you did? Did you look me in the eye? Did you repeat back to me? Were you empathic? Did you validate my feelings? Most of the time it's validation. That's what they're looking for. Was it that you suspended your own opinions and judgments long enough where I felt like I really truly had my experience and that you were there for it? And if she's in a dark enough place, she's not going to be able to recall something in the past, which is a little bit of a sticky situation, because that can really piss the partner off. If you're like, tell me about a time, he's going, I hear you all the time. What about, like when you were telling me about your mom and I was there for you and you cried and it was a wonderful experience, and she, like can't recall it because she's in a dark place. Then I will go to, well, tell me about someone in your life that does show up for you in that way, and then help me understand. So I would prefer that she shares stories from their relationship, but you don't always have access to it. Not that he's not doing it, just she doesn't have access to it right now.
Well, is that when you switch and you go, okay, what about in your life? Like, what about your parents? What about your previous partners, or your best friend, or your journal? I'll say that, like, what about your journal? Like, does your journal hear you? And like, what's the quality of that? What did he say? What did Terry say today? Something about, there's non-judgment. what was it? It was non-judgment and something else that kind of facilitated this sense of safety. What is safety? Oh, that's what you're talking about. Where does safety
and
come from?
non-judgment. Yeah.
Non-judgment, and there was a second thing. Can't remember what it was exactly, but your journal's not going to judge you, right? And so there's something about that is, safe and maybe welcoming.
Mm.
He made another differentiation too that is kind of in this neighborhood, right? He talked about it's not empathy strictly. Like I can recognize your feeling.
It's
those are your feelings.
Independence started with an I.
Like
yeah. Empathy and identification. That was the word, identification. I can identify with your feelings. Empathy to me feels like at a moment you are removing a boundary that's there. Oh man. Okay, so let's just talk about that concept for a second.
Sure.
Identification versus empathy. I have my own thoughts, but I want to hear about what did you understand the difference being?
Well, I'm just going back to this idea that so I have this other angle on empathy that I'll introduce here in a second, but I think if we stick with what Terry was saying, Terry and Belinda were saying, is there's a difference between identification and empathy. And I don't think this was directly connected to the conversation about the angry woman not feeling heard, but if the woman wants empathy, Terry was almost suggesting that may not actually be helpful. Like identifying, I know what you're feeling. I appreciate what you're feeling. I can identify and recognize what you're feeling, but those are your feelings. Those are that empathy would be like if I had to now take on those feelings for my own.
Yes.
Like
empathy is like a boundaryless position.
Yeah.
Is I think what he was referring to.
And Sarah Nasserzada that I talked to, she actually she says empathy is bad. She doesn't say it's bad, but she's kind of down on empathy vis-a-vis compassion.
Yeah.
Like she's like, don't do empathy, do compassion. Which for the angry woman who doesn't feel heard is maybe like, I get it. I might not understand, and I certainly don't feel what you're feeling because you're feeling something that belongs to you. But do you need a hug? Do you need me to? What is that thing? Do you need to be helped, heard, or hugged? Like, do you need me to repeat back to you what I've heard you say? Do you need me to respond? Like, what is that angry woman or that woman who doesn't feel heard need? And by the way, men are the same. In this analogy, I'm probably the woman in my relationship where I don't feel heard and I get angry about it. Yeah. We're not talking about gendered postures. We're talking about like, what is the condition that leads to, feeling or needing to feel heard?
Okay.
And the response that is required from the partner. Sorry.
Yeah. Here's what I see in my office is because I wrote down 4 separate words and they're all kind of different. Empathy versus identification versus compassion versus sympathy, which is all 4 of those. Sympathy and empathy, I think there is a reel that has gone round and round and round with Brene Brown. And she sort of talks about the difference between empathy and sympathy. And we're kind of digging in a little bit into this, but I want for you to have this scenario. The scenario is I'm over here and I'm sulking. Like, let's just say Zach Brittle's on the couch. He's watched his 4th movie for the day. He's got a lineup of soda cans in front of him. And you're wearing your hooded sweatshirt, Diet Ginger Ale. Okay. You're wearing your hooded sweatshirt. The hood is on and you haven't said a word to anyone. You've drawn the curtains and it's a beautiful sunny day outside. And Rebecca has walked past you for the last 6 hours and hasn't said anything. This is the complaint that I get in my practice, which is, you can clearly see me in pain. This is not normal behavior for me to be watching my 4th movie in the middle of the sunny, beautiful day. I haven't said anything. Like, why? All I'm asking is for you to reach out and say, what's happening? What's going on for you? With some compassion and curiosity. Now, Laura Heck might walk past Zach and make some sort of snarky, critical comment. Like, right? But really what you're hoping...
Yeah, you probably would.
I probably would. I know myself very well. But what the clients in my office are saying is, can you see me? Can you see me hurting over here? What do you see? And I would love for you to just reach out with a little bit of compassion and say, hey, I see this. What's going on? With a little bit of curiosity. This to me is like, this is the compassion piece, not necessarily the empathy piece, but it's the compassion of, I see you, I hear you, I recognize something's going on, I'm attuned to you, and now I'm going to extend some kind of a turning toward, like, I want to make sure that you know that I see you, I care about you. This is compassion of like, help me understand what your experience is right now. I'm not going to take on that experience. I don't need to feel your feelings, but I'm going to let you know that I see you. This is just a story, but I hear it in my office all the time. And what do you think the response is when I say, hey, partner, what is preventing you from reaching out to your partner with compassion? What's preventing you from tuning in, turning toward them, and being curious?
What do I think the response you hear the most is?
Yeah. Or what do you think like clients in my office would say, or even in your office?
I don't know. For me, it's something probably in the neighborhood of like, it won't make a difference, or it's too little too late, or, well, I'm also hurt. I mean, it feels like there's a selfishness. It's, that I'm unwilling or unable to move past in order to care for you. That's probably the piece of resistance I would imagine the most.
Okay. So now I want you to imagine that rather than Zach sitting on the couch, not saying anything, going into like turtle mode, I want you to imagine that the pain that is outward, the outward observable pain, is someone who is anxious and grumpy, just irritable, right? Like slamming cabinets in the thing, like making snarky comments at the kids, like very little patience. Now, what do you think is preventing the partner from reaching in with compassion, saying, hey, what's going on
Well, I'm annoyed
here?
by your behavior too. Like, that's inappropriate and you need to fix it is the thing that I would,
By the way, I'm annoyed by you on the couch. Like, that's annoying to me. That is very triggering to see depressive symptoms. Like that is something that I don't deal well with. And so, so that's one thing, but you're annoyed by all of the anxious and the irritability and all of that.
Well, no, I'm just imagining like what is the thing that would happen when I see somebody behaving like that, and why wouldn't I care for them or move toward them? Is because I'd be like bothered, like maybe even afraid that they would take it out on me. Is kind of but again, it's a selfishness. I think Terry said something again kind of interesting about when he can recognize that the fighter in Belinda isn't the 70-year-old woman, it's the 5-year-old girl. He can go, oh, I have a lot more agency here. And maybe in fact, a lot more responsibility here. But again, it takes a lot of like cultivating work to get there.
Yeah. And a lot of like knowing your partner. I've been working with my partners in helping each other develop that compassion. And maybe I'll just start using that word more often than empathy. Compassion. Yeah. Of being able to, extend.
I feel like compassion too is actionable. Like you can show compassion, right?
Yes.
Versus say feel empathy.
Yes.
Even if I feel empathy, I still have to do something. And what am I going to do? I think that's where it's like, let's show compassion. I do experience that. Like when maybe I have a story, like I know that my partner is really struggling with, let's just say like their worth at work is not recognized. And so every day is a freaking grind, and they come home and they're irritable and they just don't find passion or purpose in the last 10 hours that they spent grinding for somebody that doesn't appreciate them. They walk in the door, they're grumpy. I can have empathy inward in my body, and I can go, you know what? I understand why my partner is grumpy and irritable right now. It's not about me. That's empathy. Compassion is now the outward movement of how am I going to take this empathy that I have for my partner and demonstrate the compassion, the love to my partner. So like you said, it's like an action.
compassion is an action, empathy is a thought or a process inside of yourself.
Yeah.
So maybe they just need to work in tandem. Like you can't have compassion without having empathy first.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Anyway.
Yeah.
It's fun to think about all that stuff. And again, it
I
was
know.
really cool to visit with those guys and have them give us a little bit of behind the scenes action for their relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. So we, it's funny. We've been talking for now almost 30 minutes. And I'm like, man, this feels like it's going really fast. We're going to spend a lot of time together, by the way, because we are teaching. I just want to give you that heads up.
Yeah.
Can I just remind you that we are also going to be together for the rest of the afternoon?
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Yeah. You're so welcome. Yes. Take a nap. You can pull out your caffeinated sodas so we can be jazzed up.
That's actually a really good idea because I don't think we have any in the fridge right now. I should probably go get some.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Get really excited about it. Do you have anything exciting that's coming up for you? I know that you have had a bit of like a jam-packed schedule. And I'm just wondering if there's anything exciting coming up in the near future.
I'm traveling a lot this fall, and we have a lot of cool things that are happening. Kind of some people, my family's coming to visit. I just kind of did this thing in Denver, which certified me to teach this workshop, which I'm going to do 3 times in the fall. I think we should talk about that sometime so I can have like a big old advertisement about it. But I'm going to do one online.
Who are you teaching? Are you teaching other clinicians? Are you teaching couples?
No, this is for couples and individuals. The way this workshop is built is you can be an individual or a couple. And I'm going to do one online. I'm going to do one in Minnesota, and I'm going to do one in Philadelphia. So we should talk about that. So that's kind of exciting, I guess, to be kind of on the circuit a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm actually side, like kind of as another, like kind of what's going on for me is I'm sort of in search of the new exciting thing for me. Like I don't know what it is right now. So
triathlons.
I don't want it to be all work stuff. So it's kind of, I'm sort of like, I mean, I could talk about work, but I don't really want the exciting things in my life to be work stuff. So yeah. I'm swimming a lot, playing a little bit of tennis. It's nice to have Abby home. She leaves in about a month. So, we're just doing family stuff.
Cool. Right on. Are you reading anything right now?
I think I told you that for my birthday, people gave me books. Like I asked for books for my birthday.
Oh, that's right.
So I have a bunch of books that I'm to read, but I am still in my not reading phase. So I'm getting there.
Cool. I like it. All right. Well,
I'm coming to your house.
Yeah. I mean, in September, right?
Yeah. All right.
Hey,
fine.
let's drop that actually, because we've had quite a few people that have reached out and said, "Hey, when is your next workshop?" So here are the dates, and I'll tell you where to find it. But Zach and I are teaching for the Gottman Institute. We're part of their speakers bureau, and we're teaching the art and science of love. It's a 2-day workshop. You register through the Gottman Institute, not through us, because we are their speakers. It's their situation. But that's coming up on September 14th and 15th. And it's all day. It's from like 8 to 4. And
PM,
PM.
Pacific time.
Pacific Standard Time. That's right. Or daylight time. So if you want to know
more about that. Are we in
standard
time or daylight time? I can never remember.
We're in daylight right now.
So it's 8 to 4 PDT.
That's right. On September 14th and 15th, you can find out by going to the Gottman Institute and just searching the Art and Science of Love. It's a live virtual event, so you can join from anywhere. And this is their flagship workshop that we are teaching. So that's pretty exciting. Okay, well, let's land this plane so you can go on to your next
By
thing.
the way, I think it's important for us to say PDT because on our Patreon, which, by the way, if you haven't heard us talk about that yet, that's still an active campaign that we're in the middle of. We got gifts from Sweden and Poland and the United Kingdom. So the world is paying attention. That is actually pretty baller. So
holler at my Polish people.
What's that?
That is, I don't know if you knew this, but as much as I look like I am Swedish and Norwegian, which I am, also Polish. So
there you go.
At ya. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably your people then.
That's my people, my sausage making people. My grandfather came over and worked in a sausage making factory in Boston. So that's pretty fun. Okay, let's land it and we'll see you next week.
I will see you in about 10 minutes.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Marriage Therapy Radio. Our Patreon can be accessed through our website, Marriage Therapy Radio. At the top, you'll find a tab that says Patreon. There, we have exclusive interviews. We have an interview with Zach and his wife, Rebecca, so you get to meet her, you get to see her, which is pretty cool, and kind of hear the dynamic. If you thought we had an interesting dynamic, just you wait. And then my husband's going to join because we have our 15-year wedding anniversary coming up. And I just thought for funsies, let's meet Ryan. So you can, if you have any questions, actually, since we're kind of ahead of time, send them in. Like you can email questions that you want for us to answer, info@marriagetherapyradio.com. You can hit us up on the Instagram and DM your questions. That would be kind of interesting. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but if you help guide the conversation, that would be great. Thanks for all of your time and attention, making your relationship better today than it was yesterday.